one thing that's very unique about some of these documents is there's a criteria within historiography that's referred to as the Criterion of Embarrassment. And so the idea is if there is something within the writing that reflects very poorly on either the authors or the people connected with the authors, it is a good assumption to say that it is probably true. Not that it's always true, but that's probably true because you're not going to put your, right, this is what we were talking earlier about some of the perspectives of prophethood in Islam versus Christianity. My Muslim friends have a problem with the prophets looking as bad as they do in the Old Testament because they're like, a representation of a man of God wouldn't look like that.
And you and I were talking off camera about this earlier. Muslims view prophets as like a form of divine, like a form of relative perfection.
Or at least there's an understanding within, say, Sunni orthodoxy that I don't think it's not all Muslims, but sort of historical Sunni orthodoxy within Islam would largely have an understanding of prophets being close to sinless, if not sinless. And so if you have someone like King David, who in the Bible, he's a murderer, he's an adulterer, he sleeps with Bathsheba, and then Bathsheba's husband comes back from war.
Is this the same David with Goliath?
Yeah.
Well, he did kill Goliath.
He killed Goliath, but that was a good move, right? Yeah. So he kills Goliath. He goes on. He's a great king, but he always has this problem of he just loves the ladies too much, right?
Nothing wrong with that.
So the story is he's standing on the roof. He sees Bathsheba. She's on her roof and she's bathing. And he's like, oh, I like that. And so he calls her and he sleeps with her. But her husband is fighting on the front lines for him. And her husband comes home and he's like, oh, this is a problem. So he tries to put her husband even more on the front lines so that he dies.
Please die.
And then he dies, right? And so he's like purposefully like micromanaging the death of this woman's husband so that he can basically, because she becomes pregnant and that's problematic because her husband's, he brings him back from war and wants her husband to sleep with her so that he might think that he got her pregnant. And he's such a devotee of David that he won't go home. He sleeps in front of the palace gate because he's like, my comrades in arms, they're out on the battlefields, they're in the trenches.
His wife's getting knocked up by the king. Yeah, oh my God. Yeah.
So all that to say,
shit.
From a historian perspective, we look at this and we're like, hey, this is like the good guy. David's the good guy. He's
Allegedly.
The king, right? But he is a bit of a scumbag. Like he does these things. So we can look at that and we can say, especially within the ancient Near East, you never make the king look bad. So in this regard, that's probably true.